Welcome back, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again. I'm Sean.
I'm Tim.
This is another drop of Dharma.
Another drop of Dharma. We've been having a little bit of a break. Shawnee's been moving into a great new place, Central Coast, New South Wales. How is it?
Mate, I've found the gem. I'm excited, man. It's really good. I've just had so many cool new people rock up, and yeah, it's been really good, man. It's a lovely spot. I can walk down to the beach and surf now. I don't have to drive anymore. I can walk down, surf. There's a few different breaks. It's very relaxing. I listen to birds all day, all night. It's a real upgrade.
Out of the city, out of the hustle and bustle. It must be great.
It's wonderful. But it's given me this little room as well where I can do my own like setup and record.
I saw your new video on YouTube, your Tension-Free TV. Great name.
You like that?
Great
Yeah, it's just a free TV. And otherwise connect, Sean.
What's that one? Nice one. So you're very good at the names. I'm surprised Tension-Free TV hasn't come up before. It's a great one.
No, it's only just kicked in. But my first episode I recorded, I haven't posted it yet. It was an introduction to what is wisdom. And I thought, who better to expand on what is wisdom than my main man, Tim, who has been nicknamed after wisdom by being called Zen, Tim.
Look, I appreciate it. It's a big compliment. I don't know how much I'm going to add to it, but that's a great subject. So we sort of cover a bit of what is wisdom. What was our class yesterday as well? We talked about first eternal Dharma truth. We'll see if we have time on the back end, maybe.
I mean, that's deep wisdom. We can start with just what is wisdom and see how far we get.
That sounds great. So where did you go with your video? Where'd you?
Well, it was an introduction to tension-free TV and a wise connection. And the whole point of me sharing information is it has to be two things. It has to be practical and it has to be wise. If it's not practical and wise, it could create more suffering for myself and others. And then I deducted, because I like using the word deducted.
Deduced.
I deduced that wisdom was any time you're removing suffering or creating joy in a wise way.
Oh, nice. That reminded me of an old definition. That was the one: removing suffering, creating joy for self and others now and in future.
Yeah.
I like that about your video. You're talking about training, and it's like most people don't know how to train in a way where they can avoid pain and suffering. They just do more training, it leads to more injury, and then loss of mobility, and then they stop training. It's like, yeah, that is a high wisdom.
You've been reading my journal. That's my training journal. I trained heaps hard, and then I stopped training due to injury.
And then I just going through your garbage, and you need to get rid of that light milk. But okay, well that's one definition. Where do we go from here?
Well, then I also said, and wisdom needs to reach a few different qualities, and one of the ones that we prefer is the timelessness factor, the eternal quality, the fact that it can, no matter when you discuss it, when you unpack it, when you observe it, it remains true in all time. I thought that was a cool quality to add to it. It has to be wise and eternally wise, not just. Oh no, it's truth. I forgot to mention truth. It has to be true. To observe deeply, yeah, you have to observe deeply and see the truth, and the truth not just from one temporary angle, but from an eternal perspective. That's the one.
I think we briefly touched on this. I thought it was kind of a fun idea. Take like those modern one-liners and then try and transfer it across to Dharma and see what happens. And a lot of them are not either true for everyone or true eternally. They're kind of like a temporary true. I was doing Qigong down at Bronte Beach once. I was like trying to block everyone out. I'm in the zone, but I couldn't. And this like couple is walking past, and this guy was like, I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. You know what? I'm just going to do me. From now on, I'm just going to do me and screw everyone else. And his friend next to him was like, babe, I think that's the best thing for you. That's like the best thing. And I was totally broken out of Qigong, and I felt like running after him. Like, no, that's a terrible idea. That's terrible advice. But like, I know the feeling, right? You're upset. You've been trying to work hard to please someone else. And you're like, no, you know what? I'm just going to do me. But that's not an eternally true thing. That's like going to work for about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a few days for a week before you run into more troubles, right?
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. If you really dissect that, right? When he says me, who is me? Who are you talking about? Are you talking
Exactly.
about the you that wants what it wants and doesn't care about anyone else? Because that one I agree with Tim. That's probably a bad idea. But are you talking about the you that is there beneath all the noise? Like, you know, like I used to be, I'm always very friendly and very like excitable, right? But my insecurity will have me around some people. I'm not confident to be caring and I'm not confident to act excited. So I withdraw. That's not me, Tim. I'm excited. I am caring.
True.
So
It's true.
being me, and I'm just not going to care. I'm just going to be me. In that case, I agree. You should just not care and be your brave self. But who you want to be shouldn't be a bad person or a inconsiderate, selfish so and so. You should be a calculated version of yourself, a well trained, disciplined, thought out version of yourself. Go and
Oh, I
be
like
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
I like that. And you could probably use the two together to be like, if I roll this forward and I just, because if it's the, I'm not going to care what anyone else wants, I just care about what I want and do me, that then all the people who were being kind and nice because you're a nice person are probably maybe going to stop doing that because now you become a bit of a dick. But I like that one about becoming more of your true self. Like, so you noticed there were some people that you weren't around that. And then do you try and like work on that or you just notice it and
bro. It's been like it's an observation that's taken me decades to see through. But I remember as a kid, a fight broke out between my friend and another kid in school. And I so desperately wanted to still be friends with the other kid that I went and hung out with him. And my friend's like, why are you hanging out with the guy I just had a fight with? And I was in my head, it made perfect sense. I didn't know how to explain to him. I'm trying to create harmony between that guy and me so that we can be friends again, you know, like, but I was only in year two or something. So all my friend saw was me. He had a fight. And instead of standing next to him and consoling him and being his friend, I went off and hung out with this other kid who's looking at me like, what are you doing here, man? And I'm like, I don't know how to put it into words, but we should be friends still, you know, like it was just, that was me, bro. I didn't want
everyone
discomfort. I
should get
didn't want,
along, you know?
everyone should get along, but it takes maturity and wisdom to be able to be that version of you and not confuse your actual friends. Very confused. We're not friends anymore. It didn't
You got to
last.
burn through quite a few of those to learn, you know, on the learning process to those. You just like,
So who we naturally feel like being is a complicated subject because if I'm not insecure, I will be caring. But if I'm not confident in standing out and being like, I remember the first time someone had tension in a restaurant and I was asked, I was like, oh, I'll massage it in the restaurant with everyone looking at me. The first few times I felt very strange. Very strange. I felt like a spectacle. And then now when I do it, I see people looking, going, oh, they're not looking like judging and laughing. They're looking, going, I wish someone would do that for me.
wish there were massages going on, you know?
Yeah. Or they wish they had the skill to be able to do that and the confidence to do that and heal someone. So what used to make me suffer, now I see through it. It was all my own illusion of creation of suffering that wasn't there.
I have a similar one, that's slightly different angle on that. I used to think when things wouldn't work out that the other person had like a bad intention towards me. And it took a long time to realize that, oh, actually, we're all pretty blind to different things. It's not that that person has like a personal negative towards me. It's like they're just like not aware or unsure or they have their own things going on. But it's like that. It just always went to that default of like, oh, they don't like me, or they got a problem with me, or you know, they're trying to make it not work. You kind of just like swing from one extreme to the other, and like, man, there's a whole range in that spectrum. That's your word, in the spectrum before we get from, you know, love to hate. And I was like, oh, actually, no, this person's just not aware of what's going on. I'm not aware about what's going on most of the time anyway. So it's like, oh, give everyone a break. It's like, oh,
Yeah. There was the philosophy of not observing from personal. It used to confuse me. It really used to confuse me. But now I see it. It's like if I send someone a text and they don't reply, I'm like, what are they doing? Why haven't they sent me a text yet?
they
But
don't
some
like me.
people receive information, process it, take time to calculate, and then respond. So they won't respond until, but if I got that text asking for that, I'd be like, oh, hey, I don't know yet. I'll have a think and I'll reply later. Bang. But that's my personal way of doing it. Observing, why haven't they done that yet? Is me observing with personal. Then I get frustrated and I judgmental. Whereas as soon as I go, oh, they might not do it that way, they're a bit slower. They might, you know. need time to process and reply. Okay, that's me not observing with personal. That's free from personal to observe their person, their ability, their situation, their perspective, and their psychology. How do they respond? What does it mean for them? And then that's a little bit, takes the sting out of it, you know? You can actually observe a bit more layers and see what's really going on, an actual truth, rather than your like keyhole perspective of truth.
Can we kind of replay that one for the people at home? So the subject is wisdom, and then the practice is to observe free from your own personal. And take us through, how can someone practice that more? Because it's not a default. I've never met anyone where that's a default.
Yeah, free from your own personal is definitely not my default. Okay. They say that our ego or situation creates like a perspective that we get trapped into. And that perspective is built by many causes. It's our ability, our history, experience, our desires, relationships, all of that makes our perspective. So it's not easy to give an example, but
the analogy, I thought the keyhole one's a good one. So that's a common one from Buddhism. Hey, trying to see what's in a room by looking through the keyhole versus opening the door. That's the right analogy, right?
Perfect. And I think a lot of men and women relationships have a lot of like, they ram heads here, because I was reading this study the other day. It was saying how when women are stressed out emotionally, like I'm just generalizing because this is what the study did. In general, when women are emotionally or their nervous system's rattled, to talk to their partner about what's frustrating them, it brings their nervous system back down. But
I know where you're going with this already. This is
for
hilarious.
men, when their nervous system's rattled, to talk about it rattles it more, and it's like stabbing them with razor blades. Actually, what they need to do is go and be active. So walk away, go for a run, do a workout, and then you'll be in a calm state to interact. But so I was with a mate the other day, and he was just blowing up about his chick. He was just like, mate, she does my freaking head in. And like everything he said, it was her complaining about a problem. And everything he would reply with would be obviously to fix the freaking problem, because that's why you're upset. And I need you to not be upset. And so she's like, stop trying to solve my problems. And he's like, stop whinging about your problems. And the two of them are just freaking ramming
You want to help with them. That's the women are from
Mars,
women
Venus.
from Venus one.
Yeah.
I had both sisters and my mum being like, we don't want you to fix this. We're talking about it. I'm like, well, the only reason we're talking about it is because the problem won't go away. Here's how you fix it. And it's just like, but so I went outside and exercised. They spoke about it. We went to dinner afterwards. Everyone was happy, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the observing with personal, when you like are trying. So for either of those to try to be fixing the other one's nervous system with the system that works for them is the personal. It's like you can't soothe an adult male with telling him to talk about his feelings if that's not a comfortable, environment or situation for him. But you also can't make a woman train when she's emotionally stressed out, expecting it to always be this, like, they're just different. They're different.
So the technique, I thought that was cool with the message, is instead of reading it from my point of view, it reminds me of a funny Key and Peele sketch. Have you seen the one with the text message?
Maybe.
And where he takes the text message out of context. I'll send it to you. It's pretty funny. But it's like being able to read the message from that person's style, character point of view, rather than like, that's one technique. What about when you're in front of a person? Because sometimes I get agitated and it's hard for me to like, how do I see it from their point of view here? You know what I mean? I'm more like,
I try to actually feel what they're experiencing in that moment, like copy their face, copy their body language just for a second to feel it. And then you feel their perspective. It's interesting.
I've seen you do that, actually.
Yeah, I do it all the time. And I try to feel what they're stuck in, because then I can help them maybe out of it if I can feel it, if I can understand it. If you can really take on someone's character and attitude, like copy them, you feel them. You really do. It's very different. And it's so funny, like taking on someone else's body language and posture and tone and speaking style. You have to create that psychology. It's part of like dropping your eye or getting out of your keyhole to create a whole new keyhole to experience and interact with life with. It's quite fun. It's a good technique, actually, that one. Copy people.
I do that sometimes on the street, not when I'm like interacting, but sometimes I'll see someone and I'll like kind of like, and then you kind of roll, and then you're like, like yeah, whatever the
When people walk in and stand in front of me for a treatment, I'll just look and be like, oh, that, oh, that, oh. I'm going to unlock all of that. But we can kind of like keep explaining what is wisdom, but I think we're going to share wisdom over coming episodes. So one way to approach this might be explain the opposite of wisdom. What is blindness?
What is blindness? I thought stupidity was the opposite of wisdom, but now you're right. Blindness is the opposite of wisdom. Why did I think it was stupidity? Is that just that's the person involved? No. Stupidity is the action.
I think as soon as you bring stupidity in, it's a type of blindness.
Okay. Yep. Because not all blindness is, because you have greed, hate, stupidity. You have all the blindness in there.
And curiosity is the type of blindness, just trying to understand. Curious baby touches the fire, gets burned. It's not like it was a bad intention. It wasn't even stupid. It was just curious and naive. So stupid is like you continually being an idiot. Stupid is like you're not sharp, but naive and curious, okay, you haven't experienced yet. That's everyone gets that. We can all accept a naive, innocent baby, but an adult human person, like touching a flame, being like, oh, no, burn me, that's stupid. So you should know that by now. You've had how many years to figure that one out?
So they put green lights in the pavement now at intersections so that people will, because they're on the phone, they have green lights and red lights. Yeah, all through Type A now.
No way. It's happened.
Yeah, it's even expanded to my street here now because the light flashed green. I looked down and I'm like, and then I looked at everyone else and no one else looked up. So, in a city with 18,000 accidents a month, that I was like, I mean, to me, that's stupid dash naive dash blind. But okay, let's in this subject. My personal view is it's unsafe to walk around that way. But then again, I mean, no one got hit. I've never actually seen someone get hit like that. So,
well, the thing about life is, Tim, safety is not guaranteed. And yeah, I mean, we live in a society that allows us to be pretty unaware and still survive.
Yeah.
People don't even have to look after their body anymore. But in the animal kingdom, if you ignore your body, you're dead. That's a death sentence. So with all our intelligence, humans have created a perfect environment to be really, really not aware, not sharp at all. And yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice.
So what was your question? Your question was, what's the opposite of wisdom? Blindness.
Yeah, well, if wisdom's a deep subject and there's a lot of ways to explain it, and this is an entry level kind of class still. So why don't we explain the opposite instead of how do we know we're not following wisdom? What's the definition of unaware or blind or how would you define blindness?
Like the start of the text and the Buddhist text, they're always like, here's what it's not. I love those starts. They're great. Yeah. I think blindness maybe is not wanting to develop wisdom. Could you say that? Am I allowed to use a word in the definition or not really?
Not really, but you can.
Not really.
This is our show, Tim. It's the Wild West. No one's policing us here. We can do what we want.
No one's checking this out. Okay, not wanting to develop or expand your awareness. How about that?
Okay. Is there a cause for that? Is there an intention for that? Would you call it lazy? Would you call it apathy? Would you call it like just?
Yeah, but kind of like a lazy, like everything's as good as it is. Why do I need to, it's worked so far kind of thing. So yeah, maybe that's a laziness. So a laziness not to develop more. It's a bit abstract, but it's a starting point.
You could cut right to the actual definition and go, blindness is following our feelings nonstop. So if your feeling is I want to be lazy, you just follow it. You don't challenge. Okay, I'm going to be lazy. I don't want to do anything. You want to be careless? You be careless. Following the feelings that naturally occur is the definition of blindness. Because
that's how you stay on the couch all day.
That's how you stay blind. You just follow that feeling. Eat what you want to eat. Don't challenge. Don't push through discomfort. Don't develop. Don't work hard for anything. That's like a blind feeling. But that blind feeling doesn't have to be lazy. It can also be work really hard in a really uncalculated direction. CrossFit comes to mind.
You
Some
get
of
a
the people I
sweat.
see that go to CrossFit, man, they're like, I'm like, wow, why are you squatting with that much weight? And they're like, oh, that's just the workout. And it's like, cool, like you've got a disc bulge, right? And they're like, yeah. And it's like, cool, maybe we should structure your training around repairing that. And it's like, they kind of look at me like I've got to work hard, I've got to,
The workout's called Sydney. It's got a
yeah.
girl's name, so that we can man up and, okay. So we
So,
went wisdom, blindness, following feelings. So does that make? But not all feelings are blinds, or
well,
most feelings are blind.
non-stop following your feelings is the definition of blindness, because until your feelings are actually through wisdom, of course they're blind. They're causation. They're just in. Someone comes up and says, "Hey Tim, you're not cool because you don't have a Ferrari," and then you're like, "Damn it! Now I've got to go get a Ferrari." No, man, you're going to be like, "I don't think that makes one cool." All of a sudden, you're not following that external feeling, causation. So
That's a cool way to
that's a
look at it.
very basic example. But if Ferrari promote Ferraris to you and you see that and you have to go buy one, you're not free. But if you see that and you're like, "Yeah, I can choose that feeling or not choose it," you're free and you're no longer a slave to external causes.
So out of blindness is free to choose feelings. But before someone's developed much wisdom, won't they just be choosing between a bunch of blind feelings?
Exactly, Tim. And until you're free from your own greed to actually develop something, you're a slave always and forever. Following your greed feeling forever. Never goes anywhere. There's a saying: if our ego was going to take us anywhere good, we'd already be a master. It's
True
like,
that.
yeah, if we were going to get anywhere good from our ego, we'd already be masters at whatever it is. And the reason we have suffering is because we do follow our ego for so long, for so long.
So long. Okay, so blindness, not following. So blindness is just following feelings, never question them, just like that's what they are. What I liked about learning philosophy is that feeling, I create that feeling as well. It's like the feelings I receive from outside, and then that lazy feeling I kind of create and take it. But before reading philosophy, it was like, oh, that's the feeling. It's like I create the feeling and then I accept it and like, oh, that's how it is. But it's like, no, actually, a lot of people receive that same information but go, no, don't worry about that. Like you said, the Ferrari turns up, be like, well, I can choose it or not choose it. It's like still my choice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of feelings we kind of
Should we talk about our
we're
feeling?
we're talking about a lot of those things that we experience that are suffering, we don't realize we're already in. Like it wasn't until I started learning wisdom that I started to experience new feelings. Because
I like that.
yeah,
I like that nuance rather than just the repeat of the, oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, let's go over the feelings I'd experienced. One, I had gone to school and like challenged meeting a new social environment and making friends. I'd done that a few times, and then even as an adult, I'd done it for different works and whatever. So that's an experience and a feeling that you overcome, push through, and boom. And now for me, social situations isn't so stressful. I don't have any negative. I can walk in and do it like that. I imagine you can too. Then there's
A
like,
lot of practice, and you're like, oh, sweet.
and then there's like walking up to somebody with a romantic intention. That was scary at first, and the first handhold, and the first kiss, and the first phone call, and all of that. Like you get through that, and once you've done all your first, it just becomes the first time with someone new, maybe. But there's no more first. It's done. It's been done. Done it. There's a few firsts you could still kind of reach for, but let's keep it.
Tune into our other
This is
podcasts that
made
we'll
for
be announcing
kids. This
soon.
is made for kids.
Yeah. We'll put a link to it. It's NSFW, it's
Sean and Tim's onlyfans.com. No. Anyway, so
how
then
much is
there's
called the
the
drop.
then there's the feeling of like having to feel like you can be successful in society. And as a kid, you're like shooting for the stars. You're like, I'm going to be prime minister. I'm gonna be like a lawyer, a doctor, whatever. Then you become an adult and you start to realize how little you actually want to go in those directions for whatever reason. And so you settle on something like, I don't know, whatever. Civic video was my job. going to start at Civic Video and McDonald's. Like, that's literally where I started. Pizza Hut, Civic Video. You get a job and you become of value, and that's a whole new experience. And then at first you're like, yes, I've got money, I've got value. And then one day you're like, I hate this freaking job. It's not worth it. The value isn't right.
Yeah.
So
Or you see
you're,
people with a different job and you're like, oh, maybe I want a different job. Maybe I want that job.
or you just get sick of the smell of Mac sauce, Tim. Big Mac sauce stinks, and you just want something better for yourself. So your value goes up, yourself, you look higher and you push higher. And it's this game of like developing these new experiences and new feelings. But after how many years, 20 odd years, there's not a lot of really new feelings coming along. Like, you can chase your partying experiences, you can have the best New Year's ever, and then you go trying to recreate and chase that dragon, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, we've all been there. New Year's Eve's a great, and you're like, we're going to do this, and then we'll do this, and then and it just ends up as you spend the whole time in a taxi waiting outside somewhere transporting. You're like, that was the most sucky New Year's Eve ever. We tried to do too much.
Chase the dragon. And then, so you start to realize like you can only have like that one really perfect sandwich, and every other sandwich is just, nothing compared to that memory, but nothing will ever live up to it because you can't recreate how awesome that memory was. I remember it. I was at tennis camp, chicken and lettuce sandwich. Mum made it. It was bang on. I don't know. I've never done it again. It was amazing. But everything you've ever done, you kind of have this new feeling, and then it becomes a bit repetitive. But the first time my heart connected to wisdom in a way that freed it, that was a beautiful new feeling. That was like a new flavor of joy can appear. And there was no negative off the back of it. There was no, like, when you're having like the best night ever, but you're like, I'm going to pay for this tomorrow when I haven't slept all night and I've got to go to work and check my bank balance or whatever. There's a negative.
Yeah, or there's a comparing, like, oh, this is so good, except like last time we got to do that, or last time we went there, but it's still good. There's that, and with the bitterness off the back end. Whereas, yeah, and the philosophy one is it's a new feeling in a new way that doesn't have that, or has less kind of comparing to it.
Well, all the human information I had experienced never created anything really deeply joyful, and nothing that lasted, and nothing that had no negative. Whereas the first time I connected to a Dharma joy, or a wisdom that freed me from a suffering, a new standard had appeared. It was, oh, I can feel good like this now. I remember being free from my own self shame that I didn't go to university, or I wasn't this highly successful, educated professional / lawyer with a Bentley or whatever. Like, I remember when I first learned that,
That's quite
oh,
a
well,
standard to live up to. It's quite a high standard, that one. Like lawyer, many letters, Bentley, nice.
yeah, well, I played rugby with some pretty heavy hitters, and their dads were all magistrates, and so it was that's where you're trying to get to, kind of. That's your pinnacle of success. But when I started getting these same people that I saw as successful coming to me to learn how to not be overweight or to not be in pain, it started realizing like, oh, that's not the most valuable information that they've gone into. They might be experts in their field, but they need my help. So my perspective shifted. I started realizing wisdom is more valuable, and it's not as simple as society and humans think it is. It's like whoever solves the problem at the time, that's the wisdom. They are the expert. Like, if you've got a broken down car and some mechanic comes and solves it, you're like, yes, you are the man right now.
Man, we are going. We're back.
Yeah. But if you've got an information that actually never solves any problems, and it just is, you just know it and you remember it, but it's not very practical, that's not really super valuable, except for your ego to win an argument in a pub or something. Like, it's just like really
Yeah.
unuseful.
And I guess you could add on to that, the philosophy information you can connect to, that new feeling. When I connect back to it, I can create more good feelings from it. Whereas a lot of human information might be like, useful dash necessary, but how much of it really brings me joy or a new insight? I just get that same feeling kind of again. So we started at wisdom, we looked at blindness, and blindness said following feelings. We never observe it. And then we connected that to freedom, where if you're stuck in those same feelings, that's not much of a life anymore. That's just on repeat since
It's
the age
actually
of about
called
20.
living ghost in Taoism.
The Urgway is hungry ghost. I know that's one of them as well.
Your Chinese is far superior to mine. Yeah, but so our normal human experiences create normal human feelings, and they can be likened to relative good, relative bad, because they appear through a cycle of cause and effect from outside and internal influences. And it's not until we connect to a new information or a new wisdom that can break us out of that. And that's where we set the standard that wisdom is anything that releases suffering or creates a type of joy that doesn't bring suffering for you or anyone else later.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome. So what's some homework for people to try this out next week? How could someone practice it? Do we give them something to read from the blog? Do we give them an exercise? Last time we gave breathing exercises and ways to charge the body. What do you think?
Yeah, all of those are good. I've got an app where I'm sharing all this stuff too. We went live on
Oh,
Google Play.
plug. Let's get it in there.
We went live on Google Play.
Are you on the App Store yet? I've got
Yeah, no, not on Apple, but on Android. We're there. We're live and direct. But
live and direct.
yeah, I guess consider that causation is the system of life. And humans are in the human causation system. If you want to follow the human causation system, it goes from birth, aging, and illness into death, and then birth and rebirth, and that's your cycle. The same as all the materials in this universe appear, develop, or build, and then gradually get destroyed and disappear. If we want to connect to a new cause and effect cycle, we have to observe and recreate our causation pathway. And that class yesterday was all about causation. It was all about the first Dharma truth about life is constantly changing illusion. And we were talking about why it's an illusion and why it's a constantly changing illusion. I really liked Red Bull's answer to that, how he was just like, why would you ask why? Just appreciate that that's what it is. This is something that explains it. That's how it behaves.
Why not?
Why? Yeah, why not? That was it. Why not? That was so good, man.
So zen, that one. You
Such a
already
good answer.
create a question to take you away from the truth, and the truth is there. Just
Yeah.
you can follow the truth.
Well, it's funny because hearing that all the appearing form of Dharma is constantly changing and that the constantly changing illusion is constantly changing and never repeating. I heard that so many years ago.
These are the
But
three eternal Dharma truths for someone at home who wants to listen to them. Yep.
it's the first of the three eternal Dharma truths. But hearing it so long ago, I didn't really have much of a feeling from it. It was just a new idea. I guess the feeling it created was a little bit confused, a little bit mysterious. But now, almost 20 years later, when I hear that same phrase and I get asked, why does the illusion constantly change? I have so much joy observing all the reasons why. Remember how we were talking about them last night? All the different reasons came out. I was like, oh, wow, I get joy observing that. Whereas I didn't used to even enjoy hearing it, let alone observing it beyond what I had heard. So I think my nonstop feeling back then was I don't want to have to listen. I don't want to have to learn. I don't want to have to concentrate. I just want to do things and be good at it right away. And that created a lot of suffering. Having to push through that discomfort of that feeling to observe a little bit more, to learn and understand a little bit more, to then try and match a higher standard of whatever I'm doing based on what I've learned, pushed my level higher and higher so that now I can enjoy the learning process. I don't freak out when I learn that I'm blind or I'm making a mistake. I'm like, okay, that's not something to argue and defend. That's something to observe and correct. And that's a
I
good
could
thing.
defend it in my mind later, but right now,
Yeah,
I'm saying, thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
yeah,
Put some
yeah.
output action.
Yeah. It's like
Rather
that's
than like
like a process of being better. Yeah, just you can resist it or you can accept it.
I.
Um,
Oh, sorry,
sorry,
go
you
on.
go.
No,
No, you
go.
go. Oh, well, just part of accepting truth is not making excuses or shying away to support your feeling. If you're bad at Tai Chi or Qigong and you film it, you're going to see it. You're going to see it and be aware of its truth. You're not good at it yet. Your body's out of position or whatever. You can have someone like me sit there and watch you do it and go, yeah, your center's not straight and get all angry and think it's the teacher. but the video camera takes away all of that. So like it's pretty interesting, like how our feeling can kick up and support our situation and our blindness. But the most relief from that suffering appears when you actually just accept it, observe it, and learn more, become more aware. It's like, yeah, the urge to defend is so strong for my ego.
I like what you said about the observing it now brings joy, whereas before observing it was like, oh, why do I have to learn? I just want to like do it well, or I don't want to be here. My flavor of that was, what's the answer? Great, now I've got the answer. Now we're done. Now we can go on to something else that's more fun. There was never actually, this process itself can create joy, but it's taken like a long time, many years to get to the point where you can think of a philosophy and then the joy won't be there, but then actual practicing it, and then afterwards, like, oh, now the joy can bubble up. But it's a squeezing the Dharma juice, as we say.
Never ends, does it?
Is that a good? Sorry, is that a good place to wrap up today? We got homework. I'm trying to think of a homework before. I'll post the link to wisdom poem. That's always a good one.
Ooh, yeah. Can you remember the wisdom poem?
Wisdom is to know we have no wisdom.
Well, that's good. So I think let's just do this quickly. This is great. So wisdom is to know we have no wisdom. I really needed that, but I didn't have it when I first started learning because I thought I knew everything. And if I didn't know it yet, I would find it out as soon as I needed to know it. And those two like foundational egos made me very unaware, and I didn't care to listen or observe more. So I was very arrogant and impatient with my arrogance. And it wasn't until I was humbled to realize I don't understand anything. Then I accepted that one. Wisdom is to accept we have no wisdom. Is that it?
Yeah. I remember wisdom is to know we have no wisdom, but accept probably, or like, actually, yes, I don't.
Yeah. To admit we have to learn still. That's like, so I think Socrates at the end of his like philosophy was the main one he uncovered was, I have no idea. And that when you can admit that to yourself and the world is such a beautiful feeling. Like I actually have no idea. Oh, I don't have to pretend I know. It's so freeing from that ego.
Yeah, and his Socratic inquiry is to like, no matter what information you get, you have to question it. You have to question what you've learned. It's that process we might call observing self-being, or trying to get to pure observation. Is like you don't take any information as truth until you have that interaction with it. That's really
I love
freeing.
that. I love that. Yeah. To know, wisdom knows that we have no wisdom. That's one. What's the second one? Wisdom knows there is wisdom to get or to learn.
The wisdom to learn. Yes.
To learn. So it's like to have that attitude of like, there's no eternal truth. There's nothing to learn. That is such a depressing ego because then you're trapped in your human experience repeating. There's no escape. And even in your heart, you've closed off all options for anything more than your own keyhole. That's it. You're done. Buried in your keyhole.
Funny. I said to Sifu like very early on, I was like, I don't know, if this stuff was so valuable, it'd be around everywhere. You'd be able to find it on the internet. And he's like, no, because it's difficult. It's complicated. No one wants to observe it. People only want the easy. That's why all the easy stuff sells a lot of books. And like, the sutra is not going to be on a bestseller. You know what I mean?
A picture of a beautiful view with a live the life you love. That goes viral. Goes viral.
Visualize and you can go there. Oh, I just sit on my
visualize, conceptualize, and achieve.
Yeah, of course that's going to be popular. It means I can see. Yeah.
Or the one that says the only reason you're not famous yet is because they keep holding you back. Keep going. It's like it's got nothing to do with you not doing it yet. It's all the other people holding you down.
Yeah. Hashtag let me shine.
Yeah. I'm oppressed. Anyway, what's the third one? Oh no, that was it. Wisdom knows we have no wisdom.
Wisdom knows there's wisdom to learn. Wisdom follows wisdom.
There you go. Yeah. When you hear a wise idea, you can't like fault the logic of it, and it makes perfect sense. The only reason you wouldn't follow it is because you have your feeling of, I don't want it. So you have to drop that and follow wisdom. Wherever it appears, you accept it because you follow wisdom, no matter if it's, your child could come and give you the best idea ever, and your ego is going to be like, I'm not following the advice of a 5-year-old. Who cares if it's a 5-year-old? If it's wise, do it.
You're a kid.
You don't even pay taxes. So wisdom follows wisdom. That's good.
It all gets a bit hazy after here. I thought it was like wisdom avoids stupidity, or knows stupidity can exist but avoids repeating mistakes or something. What
I remember one was trying to be wise is blind. Try not to be blind is wise. Careful not to be blind or something, but that might just be another.
I had that on my wall. Why can't I remember that? Wisdom is, I'm not try to be wise.
Is our ego. That's right. Try not to be blind is wise. Try to be wise is ego. Yeah. So your humility is better off coming from I just don't want to make a mistake and I want to do this sincerely correct versus like, I know what I'm doing. I'm the wise one. You should all listen to me. I'm the wise one. There's
Okay,
so many of them.
I will post a link to that one and your app. We'll have to post your new links.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I've got a Google Play link. We can throw that in there too.
Mad. Yeah, we'll put that one up there. That'll be good. You got any questions from any comments? We'll answer next time. I've been receiving a lot of your comments, and I'm finally going to answer them in this video. We won't do that nonsense. We've actually had 0 comments so far, but we'll get lots soon. So
it's all right. Maybe it's so good we leave them speechless, Tim. Speechless.
Well, actually, sorry, I lie. We got one comment which says, "Was this written by AI?" And I'm going to take that as a compliment. No, we are real humans born on terror.
You should say, analog intelligence, the old school intelligence.
Yeah, we vinyl. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty funny. But yeah. That always.
I've got a question. I've got a question for them. Go and observe. What are you looking for in life? What is it your heart truly is like after? What will make you feel your life is content? And before you come up with an answer, just consider that ever since you're a little kid until now, your favorite toy or whatever you've found important has changed. So pick something that's always going to be important and valuable, not just now in this moment, but in 10 years or in 100 years or eternally, for the entire duration of your existence, which according to some sutras is eternal. What are you going to do with your life? And I think one of the things that helped me was to understand that life is an eternal system of cause and effect, and I am going to be eternally making choices. And in every moment, I'm going to be either redeciding what I want to choose, or I make one really powerful eternal choice and I stick with that. And that's called creating a will. And one of the reasons Tim and I can enjoy doing this class together is because we are both at our level, living in a type of will. From my understanding, and I see this in Tim and I use him as an example to copy and learn from, he's never really had a problem being kind. He's naturally generous. If he's in the space and it's something worth sharing, he's joyfully sharing it and bringing people out of suffering in the way he does that. It can be a social thing. It can be a sharing of food, materials, or like we are here, Dharma. He can make that joyful and fun. He didn't have to learn that power. He kind of was born into that. And he's just awakening how to do it more and more this lifetime. So,
and doing more in a wise way,
Yeah, learning to do it in a wiser and wiser way. But for that, his name isn't Tim because Tim is his parents, cause and effect created Tim. So Tim can be the keyhole name. His more wisdom or Dharma name is Dharma kindness. Do you have a full one?
That's my full one. I feel like if I train for another 5 years, I'll get more words.
Okay. Yeah.
Red Bull's got about 8 so far. You got quite a few. You've got your blue dragon.
I've got a few, Tim. I've added to it. I've released a whole catalog of names. Double Diamond,
the full official.
Double Diamond Blue Dragon, Dharma Protector.
See, because I knew. So Double Diamond Blue Dragon,
Dharma Protector.
Wow.
The Double Diamond. The double diamond. Yeah, one diamond is the wisdom to observe and keep myself on the path, not to come off the path. But my will, if it's just me, I will fall off the path. I need to share because I get excited when my friends are around, and so I have to connect to other consciousness willing to learn Dharma. They are the other diamond, and by sharing wisdom with them, it forces me to learn more, so I can share more. That's my double diamond. And blue dragon, as you know, is my dojo like martial art. I think I was blue dragon. I forget why.
There was a surfing related, and then the blue dragon on
Water,
the image and the
the
sword.
water dragon. Yeah, the
Water
water
dragon.
dragon.
Water dragon. Thank you.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Dharma protector, because my heart naturally wants to guide and protect any consciousness willing to learn eternal Dharma. And so, yeah, anyone who wants to learn Dharma in my family, yeah,
That's awesome.
awesome. And so, wisdom follows wisdom. Instead of following the blind feeling of Sean or Tim and whatever, success on behalf of that being looks like, or getting greed or pleasure or satisfaction on behalf of those human characters, we try to create a new meaningful intention or will built through observing eternal truth. So then our intention becomes an eternal intention, something we can build more and more ability to in the future. But if you just pick a temporary goal, like, I want to be a fireman, which is, it's great, it's a noble goal, but it's going to be over once you become a fireman, or if you find out you will never be a fireman. And then if you become a fireman and you don't like it, you're stuck there. You got to change goals. But an eternal will is through deep calculation, deep observation. You try to figure out what is your deeper layer without everything around you. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? And what is your impact on the world, or reality, or illusion? And Tim and I are going to be protecting and kind.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's some good homework. I like that. It's like short and sharp, but it's one to practice, to be like, yeah, actually.
Maybe go and observe what you want from life, then press pause, and then observe, and then listen to the rest of it. I gave away the answer, but it really does help when you're going through struggles in life to have that eternal will. You just go back to it. Go, all right, well, all this other stuff's falling apart, but I can still be this will. I just got to pivot or go this other way, find another way to keep being that will. It's never over. It's just a redirection.
That's quite a powerful one. Hey, look, I've been in a few situations where, like, this sucks. I definitely, it used to be like someone else's fault. Like, no, I definitely put myself in this scenario. I'm 100% to blame. What am I going to do? And then there's like another voice that's like, well, this is not the first shitty scenario that you've got yourself out. You're like, yep, I will work my way out of this one. There's like a longer term of like, okay, well, the work in progress. But yeah, it kind of gives that that freestyle ability to get out of it. And you're like, oh, I did get out of that. Fantastic. Try not to get back into that one.
Yeah, it's like life's like a crazy storm of causation, and understanding Dharma gives you like the map. So you're in a storm and your boat's crazy lost, but you've got the map, and then you get the idea that we make choices. That's how we steer our ship. So now we found the rudder, and we got the map and we got the rudder, but we still don't have the goal. The goal is like the compass gives us a true north, and so having a will was when it all finally locked in for me. I was like, I have a direction now. I have a goal and I have a compass. I'm going to make wise choice with my rudder to look at the map and follow the compass with the map to get me to my wise goal. Okay. And that goal is not in the future. It's in this moment every time. Every choice, every moment, we're trying to reconnect to wisdom.
Oh, that's cool. I like it. The map, the rudder, and the compass.
Any
one of those that's missing, no good. Map, you're screwed.
Lost.
You got the compass. You got the.
If your rudder chain breaks, dead. No choosing.
Yeah, all three of those together. I thought it's cool.
And so that's like self-control is directing the rudder, and reading the map is like, how well do you understand the journey you're in for? Have you researched your journey? Have you read Dharma? Do you understand the sutras? Okay. And how much have you observed that destination to figure out that what's possible to figure out your goal? And it takes time. It takes time.
It's I think it's a good place. Well, why don't we should we wrap that up there?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much for
My
sharing.
pleasure.
That was a great subject. What is wisdom?
Yeah. Don't forget, guys, suffering is temporary, but wisdom is eternal.
Contrasting, what was Lance Armstrong's one? Suffering is temporary, but failure's forever.
Ooh, that's terrible. That sucks.
I mean, it sounds great if you're in the gym, but I'm like, actually, that
sucks. That's so shit. Don't be afraid of failure, ladies and gentlemen. It's an early attempt at success.
It's just an attempt.
Early attempt. You were too early. You just weren't ready yet.
And
That's good.
we'll see you all next week. My name's
Thanks,
Tim.
guys. Lovely to another wise connection. Tension free TV, a drop of Dharma. It's all happening. Let's go. Don't forget to hit the link and subscribe and share with your friends.
I'll put the link on. And we'll catch you all next episode. Just chill to the next episode.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
See ya.